Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So a very good day to everyone who's watching this video. Today we'll be exploring Adobe Photoshop. If I'm not mistaken, this is Adobe Photoshop 2020. Alright, so this is the basic interface of Adobe Photoshop. And first thing you will see is all these colors, all these tools on the sides, all these tabs on top. Okay, so each of these, depending on what you're working on, depending on the project that you're working on, it will give you a very insightful help in terms of what preference and the outcome of your project. Okay, so firstly we'll be looking at how to start. Okay, so here you can see that there's new, open, browse in bridge, open as smart object, open recent, and so forth. Okay, so here new means that you want to start from scratch. As you can see here, you can choose custom dimensions depending on what you're trying to work on, posters, infographics, or just a drawing in general. You can change the measurement in terms of pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, and because. So here it will affect the outcome of your project depending on what you're working on, as I said before. And you know, all these others, RGB colors, how you want the color of your project to turn out, and 16-bit. So the higher you go, of course, the better the pixels will be. And the background content, sometimes you don't need a background, sometimes you do, so that's why there's a custom option here. And then all these other color profiles, so that your project outcome in the end will look good in terms of colors. And of course the aspect ratio. The aspect ratio here basically means that how high definition you want your project to be towards the end. Or you can go to default Photoshop size. So if you just press default Photoshop size, this is what most people will choose when working on things that are like posters, infographics, and so forth. But if you have a specific measurement or format that you want to do, then you can click on custom and just change all these other details. Besides that, there's the saved. Sometimes you have other projects that you have worked on before, and so you can find it here. Photo, you can change the format of the project that you want to work on. Let's say you want to work on a picture. Maybe you want to change the background or the subject of the picture and so forth. So in order to do that, you must match whatever your picture that you want to work on to all these custom measurements. So 8x10, 5x7, 4x6, these are all pixels, and how your picture will turn out, whether or not it will be in high definition or just average, or it will turn out very bad. So it all depends on measurements, the very start of the subject. And then there's print. So print here is useful, especially for if you want to work on posters, flyers, brochures. So here, of course, there's a custom preset in terms of the size letter, legal, tabloid, A4 paper, A6 paper, and so forth, so that when it comes to printing towards the end of the editing, you can print in the format that you have chosen from the start. So let's say you made a poster in A5, then you can change and print towards the A5 format. And then there's art and illustration. This is just if you want to start from scratch and you want to draw something, so you can start from here, choose which format that you want. Web, if you want to design an interface or a layout for a website. So web, most common, is what people usually use whenever you go to, let's say, a website online, Facebook or whichever. They usually use this type, but of course professional websites have their own programmers. That's why there are more features on that website rather than just simple details. So then you have this web large, web medium, and web minimum, and of course web small. What you can notice here is that the pixels change. So web small is just 1280 x 800, which isn't as great in terms of pixels compared to web minimum 1024 768, and then compared to medium 1440 times 900 pixels, and compared to large, which is 1920 and 1080. This is the highest definition depending on what screen or what laptop or even what PC you are using. And then there's the MacBook Pro 13, MacBook Pro 15, and so forth. So 13 and 15 is just, I think, in terms of the production year, if I'm not mistaken. Do correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. And then there's the iMac 27, desktop HD design. So these are all web layouts if you want to design an interface for a website. And then there's mobile. Sometimes you want to design a picture or a wallpaper, let's say. So here you can choose all the different sizes. So here it may seem a little bit biased because, you know, due to all the iPhones, iPhone X, all these other brands, but of course there will be Android 1080p. So Android 1080p will work on any Android devices such as Huawei, such as Samsung, such as Realme, and so forth. And then of course there's the Microsoft Surface Pro, which is the tablet, and you can create a wallpaper for that. If you can see the difference here, all these phones have their own different layout. So that depends on the screen of the phone as well. You don't want it to be overpowered, you don't want it to be pixelated once you've installed the wallpaper on your phone. So do choose your sizes carefully towards the beginning. And of course lastly is film and video. So film and video, as you can see here, high definition TV 1080p, high definition video, high definition TV 720p. Depending on how big or how nice you want the project to look like, you can choose all these different layouts. So 1080p is what people will usually go for if you're doing an assignment or just a short film. But usually professionals, let's say not just professionals, maybe semi-pros or even amateurs, when they want to create a video and they want to post it on YouTube or on websites to show off their work, then they would use 2K 1080p, 4K, and so forth, so that the image will look good. For things like 8K, 8K for 320p, so these formats are usually used for smart TVs. So if you want to create a video or a short film to be displayed on an 8K TV, then you can use this format. What all these have in common is that the pixel sizes are different. That just means that the loading time, the rendering time, and so forth will take depending on how big the video as well. Alright, so that's that. And now we can look at all these others: edit, image, layer, type, select, filter, 3D, view, window, and help. So all these play a different function, which I don't think we'll be going into details, but just a heads up, if you have already loaded a project and you want to fill a background, then you can press fill and which color you want and so forth. Image, so of course anything to do with the image, you want to change the tone of the image, the contrast of the image, the color of the image, then you can do here or in the adjustments manually. And then there's the layers. If in a picture you want to erase a main subject, so you must create a new layer in order to make it look natural. And then there's type, depending on what work you're doing. So this is usually more towards rendering, infographics, graphic designing, so this will be useful especially for those. And then select, this is an all-in-one tool, so layers and color range and so forth. Filter, depending on again what you work on, 3D blur, blur gallery, all these can contribute towards the end. Now we'll be looking at the tools. So here are the basic tools. We'll just be looking at some of them. This is a brush tool. So the brush tool, as you can see there, paints custom brush strokes. That will be especially useful for people who are designing something in terms of graphic designing or posters or even infographics. If you want to change the background color or even a specific subject color, then you can use the brush tool. And this is an eyedropper tool. So let's say you want to use the same color for another subject, but you don't know the exact color code or the exact color of that subject. So you can use the eyedropper tool, which is especially useful because, of course, different colors have different shades and different tones and even different brightness. So because of that, you can use the eyedropper tool to get an exact color code or an exact shade of color in order to put somewhere else. The other tools are pretty straightforward. So let's say this is the magnifying glass. You can use it to zoom, or you can use it to reduce the view of an image. This is the hand tool, which you can move the image around. So now we'll be going into a topic which is changing the colors of a subject. Alright, so in my case here, I want to go to open, and then I want to edit this Lamborghini Huracan. Alright, as of now, the Lamborghini is in a yellow color or some sort of yellow shade color. I want to change this into maybe a black color, a green color, a purple color, or maybe even a pink color. So what do? Alright, first things first, you must go to layer, create new layer, just create. No need to name it, no need to change anything else, so just press OK. Okay, once you have that new layer, you want to go to select and click on this color range. So you have this color range, you move it up here a bit. Okay, as you can see, the main color of the car, the body of the car, is highlighted, right? What you want to do here is press specifically, maybe press this color or whichever. Fuzziness here will change the overall color. Okay, you don't want it to be too much because then that will change everything. So I'll just show you, for example. So 200%, you can see like the background is starting to become gray as well, even the tire here, this and that, the smaller details. Alright, so if you do that, this is what will happen. You'll go here, this semi-formal circle here, you go to hue and saturation. If you do that, this is what will happen. Some of the colors will also change. So like the top here, this will change. As you can see here, inside the tire and this brake caliper, it will change as well. So in the context of other things, so let's say you want to change a t-shirt color, if you do or increase the fuzziness a little bit too much, then it may also change other colors. Let's say the color of your glasses, the colors of your trousers, or even your shoes, and you do not want that. So this is what we'll do. So we'll restart again. So we're back to layer, and then press select, color range, and then turn down the fuzziness just by a little bit. Just make sure you know how to balance it out. Alright, so as you can see here, 150 is just about right. Here you can also add more colors. So let's say you want to add this color, but be careful because it will also affect other colors in the picture. And then this is what you're left with. Okay, once you're happy with all these shades and so forth, you may go to that semi-circle again, hue, saturation, and just change the colors. But be careful for how you want to change the color because you must make it look natural. So let's say about there, that, here. Okay, you see all these other lighter shades of yellow and so forth. This was from the original image. The reason being is because during the color range tools, you did not press the right color, or you did not include all the colors available on this body. Hence why sometimes there will be leftover colors from the previous subject. But in this case, we'll just continue. So saturation here will change how bright the colors will be, and lightness, the darkness, and the lightness. So if you move towards the white, then it will be completely white. If you move towards black, then it will be completely black. So you want it to be 0 if you want it to be a solid color. And you go back to hue, and from here you can change to different shades. So purple all the way to violet, green, yellow, orange, red, pink, purple. Back to purple again. So let's say I want it to be in an orange color, about there. Yeah, that looks orange. That looks orange enough. So this you can change the intensity of the color. You want it to be light, or you want it to be extremely bright. Once you're happy with your outcome, this is what you will get, and you can press Ctrl S. Okay, so here you will have two choices: save to cloud documents, which if you have a cloud account, or if you have the Creative Cloud account from Adobe itself, then you can save here and it won't take space on your actual storage in terms of your PC, your laptop, or even your phone and tablet. But most people will just save on the computer, so save on your computer and you can choose the format here. Let's say this is an ongoing process, an ongoing project, so you will save it as a Photoshop format, so that later on you can come back and work on it whenever you need to, or whenever you have an idea. But if this will be your final outcome, the final product that you will be working with, or you want to upload somewhere, then you can go down here. There's a lot of format here, including Photoshop EPS, in terms of GIF, JPEG, PCX, PNG, and so forth. So if you want it to be in a high definition format, people will usually choose PNG, but JPEG format will just do as fine. Just that sometimes if you send it to other people through WhatsApp or Telegram, sometimes the picture will be pixelated. What I mean here is that the pictures will be broken if you zoom in a little bit too much. So what you want to do is save it as PNG anywhere you want. So in this case, I just want to save it on my desktop. So save. Okay, let's say the file already exists, so you just name it 1. Save. Large file. Okay, it will render down here, and once it's finished rendering, you can go down and then you can press on the picture itself. Ta-da! This is what you get. See how well the definition is? It's just when you zoom, it will be a little bit pixelated, because it will depend on the beginning of the project as well. If you are working on a JPEG image, then the outcome wouldn't be as well. Alright, so that is all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a very good day.